back. The time is 8:41, and joining us to go through the papers in some detail this morning is Olympian Chris Akabusi and Deputy Political Editor at the Mail on Sunday, Anna Mikalova. Good morning to you both. Really good to see you. Chris, this has got us talking this morning, hasn't it? This is an op-ed in the FT. What we get wrong about ageing and work.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this is my demographic, and as much as that the elder worker, United Kingdom, the demographic bubble is reversed. It's like an air balloon, and there's more of us now aging at the top and very few of us younger ones at the bottom. And so the idea is, are we of any material benefit to society at that age? And I'm 64, so this is my demographic. Mike Namis said during COVID that he found it harder for him to, Mike Namis, the journalist, found it harder to finish off some of his wonderful work. However, the piece is saying that although once you get to your 70s, there may be a drop-off in cognitive impairment, certainly up into your 70s, you're more than capable of making up with any loss in mental clarity with your wisdom and your experience and your knowledge of whatever it is you are doing, so that most definitely you are more than capable of matching any young person in the workplace at your area of skill and expertise. So don't give up yet. And we were discussing, that certainly I've got no intention of stopping working in my ripe young age of 64. And, I'd like to think that I've got at least another decade. I mean, what else would you talk about? I mean, it gives you a sense of purpose, a sense of involvement, of contribution. And I don't know what 300 days a week, 300 days a year, sorry, but,
How many days a week do you work?
I do 56 days a year work.
Okay.
And the rest of it, grandkids, children, golf. Guess what I'm going after this? Golf!
Sounds like a great work-life balance. My dad, Bob, he'll be watching now. He's 85 and he still loves to work sort of 3 or 4 days a week, gardening. He always says, if I stop working, I'll drop dead. But Anna, one of the points that's changed, particularly during or since lockdowns, a lot of people in their 50s have thought, well, actually, I don't need to work quite so much. A lot of people are selling their property, they're downsizing, and we do have a big problem with people in this demographic simply checking out of workforce culture.
Yeah, we've got a big problem. I mean, on the one hand, the narrative for a while has been we all have to work longer. The state pension age is going up and up and up. I've, always had an assumption that I'll be working well into my late 70s, probably, if I can. So, but then, as you said, during COVID, something strange started happening, not just in the UK, across Europe as well. People in the over 50s have started dropping out of the job market. Partly that's health related, so long COVID and other factors, but the honest truth is we don't know why for a lot of them. We just don't know, and it's a really massive problem for the economy, something that the government is trying to get to grips with. Jeremy Hunt, the Chancellor, has been trying to bring in measures, see ways of encouraging people to get back to work, but I think what you need is really a series of incentives, maybe tax breaks, maybe actual handouts for people who get back into the workforce, because they're a huge untapped resource.
Yeah, I mean, I think that part and parcel of it is that through COVID, you saw you can do a lot more with less anyway. And also, like you said, people saved a little bit of money, decided that sold the house, downsized, went into the countryside. Actually, it's a lovely way of life, and you haven't got the stress of having to deliver budgets and targets, etc., etc. And then you wonder about the black economy, where the people have taken their skill sets and get paid twice as much for doing less hours. So I think there might be a lot of contentions that are making people step back and actually have the good life.
Absolutely. I think a lot of people are making more informed choice about what they want to do with their time and what is actually important. Is it work, or is it spending time with family as you do? What's the next story, Els?
Anna, let's have a look at the Sun, the front page, and this is the Schofield backlash. So we're stepping away from the affair on this front page, and this is more to do with concerns now about advertisers pulling out.
Yeah, so the Sun is reporting talk that advertisers are to the tune of over £2 million worth of advertising has already been lost for ITV off the back of this whole story. The headline is, "We've had it with this morning."
Nice.
And yeah, I mean, it shows that the repercussions are greater than just one big celebrity steps down, I mean, the financial model of the whole show and even the program could be affected unless they somehow tackle this and move forward quickly. But the thing that doesn't seem to be a very good way of handling it, which the papers are reporting today, is they've just sort of scrubbed his existence off from you. So there are no more photos of Philip Schofield. There are no more. It's like there's been no trace of his career, and apparently that's come from the top boss. So that to me does not sound like a way of tackling the issue. That's burying your head in the sand, and that's not going to fly.
Yeah.
How do you think they should be dealing with things the next 24 to 48 hours? Do you think that they need to address it, or do you think they're best just put Alison and Dermot up front today and just give that warm, family-friendly feel?
I think they need to address it, particularly because it's now so much bigger than Philip Schofield, with the story moving on to toxic culture full stop at the whole channel. So they need to address it quickly. They need to reassure the many, many people who work there who have absolutely nothing to do with any of this and need to show that their jobs are safe.
Yeah, Chris, moving on to the same story on the Mirror, they've got to take Holly, insisting that she'll be staying. But will it be her decision, I wonder, in the end, if more revelations come out?
That's a great question. Look, so you're right. So she says she will do all she can. She wants to stay. The bosses say they've got no plans of changing her. But the question I had for myself was, if I was Holly, would I want to stay on morning TV? Would I want to, if I've made my brand as this dynamic couple, and et cetera, would I not think, okay, let me step back a little bit, take a bit of garden leave? If ITV love this, golf certainly. Yeah. But then come back out in 2024 with a brand new ITV show that actually showcases my skill sets. I'm not the wingman to Mr. Schofield, but actually this is me. This is the way I do my stuff. Bring her virtuosity and vivacity to life. And actually, what makes her tick? Come out and be your own person and launch Holly Willoughby 4.0. Boom!
Sounds to me like, Chris, talking about not giving a word. You're basically pitching to be her agent.
Yeah.
Online talent.
She is, though, to be fair to Chris, though, she is a really successful businesswoman. Do you know she has books and healthcare?
Yeah.
She's done, she's a children's author. I mean, she could do lots of things outside of morning telly.
Yeah.
We'll be very, very interested.
Step out on morning TV. She will definitely have.
She doesn't need to be boxed off.
Exactly. I would take this opportunity.
Holly, if you're listening.
Yeah, I would take this opportunity to step back, rethink, and relaunch myself in a completely different area within TV. She's obviously telegenic. ITV love her and like her. She's got her faithful people who follow her. Come out and do something different.
Another PR disaster averted. Chris Akabusi, I think you've nailed it. Okay, let's move on to finally, Anna, a quick one from you. Boris Johnson is resisting pressure.
Speaking of people trying to relaunch their brand and not quite managing it.
Neat segue, over to you.
Boris Johnson is yet in another scandal this week where the police has been handed over his diaries from Number 10, alleging that he hosted guests in Chequers when he wasn't meant to. And the government is now pressuring him to publish himself, his full diaries, to sort of show that there was nothing untoward, as he claims. And he's refusing. He's saying on the grounds of national security, he's not going to. Now, this is his diaries, as in, his appointments. I think the more juicy bit is the fact that out of all of this has emerged that Boris Johnson wrote, in his rather brief time at Number 10, 24 full notebooks of his accounts. His impressions of every day, and obviously with a view to getting a very big, juicy publishing story of publishing book deal of Boris Johnson's diaries of Number 10. So I think that partly might, yes, the national security grounds is what we've been told, but I think potentially just keeping it sweet for the book deal is the other reason.
It's probably got squeaky bum time because everything seems to get leaked. Everything gets leaked by a civil servant, so this could be, incendiary stuff that he wants to keep not only secret for himself, but as you say, get a juicy book deal out of it.
Absolutely, spot on, Anna. I think you're spot on there. I think that's there's a commercial imperative. Is never far from Mr. Johnson's mind.
Yeah, superb. Okay, Chris Akabusi, Anna Michalova, thank you very much for your input today. It's been fabulous. Cheers. Great bank holiday.